Hey, come va? Bentornati. Welcome back to Italian Accelerator. Last explainer lesson for episode 6. Finally, we made it. I'm Manu Venditti from Italy Made Easy. And what do we do at Italian Accelerator is we show you a chat or conversation between two Italians. In this case, it's my friend Lisa and I. And we speak normal, natural, unscripted Italian. That chat is subtitled and you should definitely watch it. Spend a good 10 minutes analyzing it, looking up words. And then when you're done, that's when I come in and explain everything to you. So we've done this a lot already. So hopefully you're enjoying it. I mean, obviously a lot of people are, but hope you enjoy it too. Let's start with the first group of expressions. L'ho recuperato il dialetto quando sono andato all'università a Trieste, perché la mia università era praticamente un covo di tutti gli italiani da tutta Italia, perché era l'unica università dove fare quello che ho studiato io, l'unica buona dove fare quello che ho fatto io, e quindi tutti i miei compagni e colleghi erano di tutta Italia, cioè dalla Sicilia alla Val d'Aosta, eravamo di tutta l'Italia.
Wow.
So yeah, because of the story that I shared last lesson, which was about my dialect and the reason why I don't speak it, never picked it up after I came back to my hometown because I was already old enough. And then I picked it up when I was at university, because I went to this university, that's what I'm saying, up in Trieste, where basically everybody was from all parts of Italy and everybody spoke with an accent based on their dialect, and I was the only one. I mean, when I say only one, obviously it's not that strict, but I was the only one who didn't, and I kind of picked it up from then. E io ero l'unico che parlava italiano standard, e gli altri avevano una sorta di accento o qualche parola dialettale, e io allora lì ho riscoperto il dialetto. Everybody spoke with una sorta di accento. This is very similar to English, a sort of an accent. Okay, so whenever you mean a sort of, with this context, then you could use it. It's used often when you can't describe something specifically. So, I bought this thing, it's kind of a sort of machine. Okay? So we'll use una sorta di macchina, una sorta di vestito, it's a sort of a dress, So it's a sort of, in that meaning as well. So yeah, very similar to English, so you shouldn't get this wrong, but I wanted to show you that you can use it. Perché tutti lo usavano e io no. E allora l'ho reintrodotto nella mia parlata. Però non lo uso molto.
Sì.
Non lo uso molto. And yeah, basically because everybody was using a bit of an accent and a dialect, then I started picking up or reintroducing my accent into my Italian, and I use it occasionally, but not much. E senti, parliamo invece di quello che mangi.
Io sono vegana.
Lo so.
Sì. Diciamo che il nostro percorso, dico nostro perché...
Ti dispiace se bevo?
No, bevi.
Mi sposto.
Anche mio marito abbiamo fatto lo stesso percorso insieme. È una scelta forte, è una scelta etica. Principalmente etica, è cominciata per una scelta di salute.
Okay, so we changed topic and I said, okay, Lisa, tell me about your diet. And Lisa says, well, I'm a vegan and it's a journey. It's our journey. It's our, because my husband and I, we both made the same decision to go vegan. And she said, it's a tough decision to make and it's an ethical decision or choice, scelta. You can go decision or choice in Italian or in English, and basically it all started as a health choice. So we chose it for health. And here's the expression: è cominciata per una scelta di salute. È cominciata. So that's the verb cominciare. Cominciare can take two auxiliaries: avere or essere. The simple solution is that if the subject is animate, like a person or an animal or even a plant, then you would use avere. Quindi io ho cominciato a studiare italiano, io Ho cominciato a mangiare, we'll always use a, okay? If you have a verb after that. But it's avere. Maria ha cominciato a studiare giapponese. Okay, so it's avere. But when the subject is inanimate, it's an it pretty much, then the auxiliary is essere. So for example, il film è cominciato alle 8. The movie started at 8. Why? Because the movie started itself. As it started. There's no object. You see the difference? If you know transitive and intransitive, it's simple. It's just the same reason. When we use it, when a person starts, they start something. So there has to be an object, and therefore the auxiliary is avere. But when something starts itself, or ends as well, then there is no object, and therefore the auxiliary is essere. So, è cominciata. Why is it in the feminine? Because the subject is una scelta. It's a choice or a decision. È una scelta. È cominciata per una scelta di salute. It's a choice that we started for health choice. For a health choice, basically. Doesn't sound very good in English. I wonder if it sounded good in Italian. I think it did.
Visto che i miei genitori sono morti entrambi di cancro e lo stesso il papà di mio marito, abbiamo cominciato ad informarci e quindi abbiamo cominciato ad escludere dalla nostra dieta la carne, ma poi abbiamo visto che anche peggio della carne sono i latticini e i derivati e quindi abbiamo cominciato ad eliminare anche quelli.
So, sadly, Lisa's choice to go vegan and her husband is because both of her parents and her partner's father died of cancer. And so when that happened, they started doing research into health and nutrition, and they discovered a lot of things, including, that meat wasn't so good for their health. So they took it off their diet, but later they discovered that dairy products are even worse than meat. And so they took those out of their diet as well. But here's the language that she's using. Peggio della carne sono i latticini. Peggio, worse, della carne, than meat, sono i latticini, are dairy products. So i latticini is dairy products, carne is meat. What I want to point out is the use of peggio. Peggio di means worse than something. Quindi io parlo giapponese peggio di te. I speak Japanese worse than you. Okay? So peggio is simple. Once you know it, it's okay. But the structure is a little bit funny for you guys because in English you wouldn't say that worse than meat are dairy products. We put it around. I would say, dairy products are worse than meat. But in Italian you can do anything. Italian's very Italian can move blocks around. So we could have said i latticini sono peggio della carne. Dairy products are worse than meat. So that's totally fine. This is not the only way of saying it. You'll find that in Italian there's always a bunch of ways of saying it. It actually shows, it's actually a cultural reflection of the Italian personality and culture. Like, there's always a way. There's always a way to do something. Even if it's not possible this way, there's always a way. And the same applies to the language. So there is a way to move things around. So,
e poi abbiamo scoperto dei video terribili che riguardano i maltrattamenti degli animali appunto per avere il loro latte, per avere la loro carne, quindi diciamo che poi la scelta è stata molto facile, non è stato un sacrificio.
Sì, una volta che lo vedi, lo hai visto. Sì. Una volta che l'hai scoperto,
però capisco, cerco di non insistere mai con le persone perché capisco che è un percorso personale.
Okay, I let it run for a bit too long, so and now I forgot what she said. Yeah, and later they discovered some videos, some footage, like horrifying footage of exploitation of animals, and to get their meat and the milk, and when she talks to people, she doesn't push anything because she understands that it's a personal choice, it's a journey, and it's not an easy one, and and then later on she said that she didn't take this journey until recently. So of course she doesn't make anybody wrong, but as you'll hear later, she thinks it's an important decision, not only for health but also for our planet. But what are the expressions? Abbiamo scoperto dei video terribili. Two things. Abbiamo scoperto, we discovered, easy, Dei video, that's the Italian partitivo. It's our way of saying some, a few. So we discovered some videos, a few videos. In English, you don't need it. We discovered videos, we discovered footage. In Italian, you can skip it as well. When it's plural, you can actually say abbiamo scoperto video terribili. But we like in French, in French I think it's compulsory, but we like to add this partitivo. We discovered some terrible videos, okay? So you have to use the partitivo, or if you don't want to use the partitivo, which you might find difficult, you might use the word alcuni or alcune, which means some. So alcuni video, that would be the masculine, and alcune persone, that would be the feminine. But yeah, we need to have that something that tells us that it's a few of them. And then the word terribili. Now, terribile means terrible. Not mistake about that. But there's a similar word in English that it's a false friend with Italian, because in English you can use the word terrific. But terrific is positive, right? So terrible and terrific can confuse you, because in English terrific is used as a positive thing. Oh, that's terrific, meaning that's fantastic. In Italian, the word terrific is terrificante, and it's terrifying. So don't use terrificante unless you mean terrifying, okay? And cerco di non insistere mai. Scusate, I misspelled it. Cerco di non insistere mai. Why that di? You know the answer. It's because cercare, to look or to seek, to look for, whenever you cercare in a verb, the preposition is di. Cerco di non insistere. I try not to insist. Or insist in the sense of push, okay? On a topic. Cerco di mangiare più verdura. I'm trying to eat more vegetables. So cercare di is just the preposition that goes with cercare, no other reason.
E ecco, siccome anch'io ho mangiato carne, anche io ho mangiato latticini, diciamo, non è che condanno nessuno perché non sono vegani diciamo è un percorso personale, io l'ho fatto
E sei contenta?
Sono contenta, poi spero anche che gli altri lo facciano, non solo per un fatto di salute, ma anche, diciamo, per il nostro pianeta, per la salute del nostro pianeta, perché con la deforestazione, diciamo, il pianeta piano piano andrà a morire. Perché
So yeah, she doesn't condemn anybody for not being vegan. It's a personal path and it's difficult, and she's eaten meat and dairy before, so it's obviously up to the individual, but it's also important for the planet, because with deforestation, we just keep chopping and slowly the planet will die. So it's not me, it's her saying these things, but I agree with her. So non è che condanno nessuno. Allora, non condanno nessuno means I don't condemn anybody. That's easy, simple Italian. That è che is a colloquial, something that we add a lot, okay? This is similar to Portuguese, if you know Portuguese. So, it's that non è che condanno. It's not that it's not like I condemn people, or it's not that I condemn people. So, it's just added words to mean the same thing, so you can totally do without, okay? Non condanno nessuno, non è che condanno nessuno. The difference in meaning is that it's not like I condemn people. So it's like saying it's not like I blah blah blah. Ok. Non è che non voglio uscire con te, è che sono stanco. It's not that I don't want to go out with you, it's that I'm tired. Okay, so it's that kind of, it's not that. Which literally, that's what it is, but it's used a lot in Italian. Non è che condanno nessuno. Perché piano piano, slowly, the planet will die. So piano piano, or pian piano, like I said in the previous videos, we don't like to repeat the same word a lot. So piano piano or pian piano, or a cuter one, pian pianino. It's like saying little by little. Pian pianino, or little by little, or slowly. Pian pianino o piano piano il pianeta muore.
Strettamente connessi con l'ambiente in cui viviamo, e soprattutto con con gli alberi, con le foreste, e se noi continuiamo a tagliare queste foreste perché? Perché dobbiamo nutrire appunto le mucche, dobbiamo pascolare ancora più mucche, dobbiamo produrre ancora più cibo per le mucche, quindi tagliamo questi alberi, prima o poi insomma finiremo per non respirare più l'ossigeno.
Okay, no expressions from this, just telling you what she said roughly if you weren't sure from the subtitles, but saying that it's important for the planet because slowly the planet is dying because we keep cutting forests and to produce more food to give to the animals so that we can eat them, and then we're gonna run out of oxygen pretty much. Okay, so the next is going to be useful for a couple of expressions that I really want to share with you. Caput, finita. Game over.
Quindi a parte il discorso etico,
Game over.
A parte il discorso etico, voglio dire, le famiglie, i giovani continuano a fare figli senza sapere dove andranno a finire poi i figli dei loro figli.
Tu hai figlie? Perfetto. I left episode 6 with a cliffhanger. Do you have kids? So if you want to know, you'll have to tune in next week. But yeah, okay, expressions. No, first what she said. Still talking about the trees and blah, blah, blah. Okay, people keep having children and, and then there's not going to be enough air for the children of the children to live and so on. Here's the expression. A parte il discorso etico. A parte means besides. Not besides physically, but as in, besides this, there's that. Okay. A parte il discorso etico. So, besides the ethical argument, there are other reasons for this. Okay. So, a parte is the word for besides in that sense. Okay. So, per esempio, a parte la cucina, che cosa ti piace dell'Italia? Besides the cuisine, what do you like of Italy? So, a parte means besides. Straight up, very easy. A parte il discorso etico. And Lisa, in this section, she's been using diciamo a lot. Diciamo means let's say. So it's just an interjection when you're buying time. Let's say, it's that kind of thing. It doesn't really mean let's say. And finally, she says voglio dire. Now, literally, this means I want to say, but it's our way of saying I mean. Voglio dire. I mean. So it's the same as I mean when you're just throwing in the I mean to buy time and to say I mean, really. So it's voglio dire. Now, of course, if it was you, it was vuoi dire, but we wouldn't say that. We wouldn't interject on behalf of other people. So in most cases, you will say voglio dire. Ok. E questo è tutto per l'episodio 6 di Italian Accelerator. Abbiamo finito anche questa serie molto lunga di explainer lessons. I try to give you as much detail as possible without bore you, hopefully, and just explain the nuances and give you a bit of insight. Anyway, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. Here's in the annotations you find all the other episodes, and also you find a link to support this particular series. Grazie mille ragazzi, ci vediamo la settimana prossima per l'episodio 7 di Italian Accelerator, quindi di nuovo una chat in italiano fra me e Lisa che continuiamo il discorso, ma parliamo di bambini. We're gonna talk about kids, or her kids, if she has any. Ciao ciao.